What's going on? Just practicing Uncle Jan's reel. Let me turn off this. And the track I'm using right now is my track that I created for Bluegrass, and this one's got a lot of spins. This one was the popular one, so I did others, and they haven't gotten anywhere near the spins. For some reason, somebody must have posted this on some forum where it just gets a lot of attention. But here's the link. Very few people on today. Internet must be down worldwide. It's like 10 minutes long, which is great. So that, I remember making jam tracks back when I was a kid on my realistic cassette deck. The top loading one, and you push the record button and everything. And I remember never being patient enough, to do, like I would do some jam that I wanted to practice over. And I do it like 8 times, and I go, that's good enough. And then I realized later I should have done it a lot longer, because otherwise I'd keep rewinding the cassette deck and stopping and everything. So. Hey, Michael. Oh, YouTube notifications just went out. Oh, weird. Oh, they just went out. Okay, cool. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate that. I'm just going to hang out for a little bit. We're going to practice a scale. We could, I always say, patterns are great for really getting the scale down, doing groupings of 3. In other words, I'm going up the scale 3 notes, G, A, B, and then I'm going backwards 1 note, starting on the second. So I go up 3 notes from the root, 1, 2, 3, then go 3 notes up from the second of the scale, A, B, C, and go up 3 notes from the third of the scale, and continue that pattern, and that's a grouping of 3, ascending. And that's good for kind of getting a pattern down, getting your fingers coordinated, the 2 hands together, and then descending too. I'm trying to float my hand. I'm trying not to rest my hand on the bridge. See if I... Or groupings of 4. So if you're going ascending on groupings of 4, you would start on the root, go up 4 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. So G, A, B, C, then go to the second, and that would be A, B, C, D, and then B. And that does help you get good at the pattern. And in bluegrass, okay, normally I would say don't use those kind of patterns in solos because they just sound like you're reciting patterns. Sounds like you're practicing when you're supposed to be soloing. However, in bluegrass, those kind of things do tend to show up. I even wrote it in, kind of like the in the melody here where I go, oh no, that's on this one. I'm already working on the other one. That's not quite a grouping of 3 or 4, but it's a pattern. What did I do? On the second pass, yeah. All right, let me see who's here. Looks like it's starting to fill in now all of a sudden. So everybody's getting their notifications. We got 22 people on, and it's flying like a bullet. Sam, good to see you. You were first. Is that the first time you've been first? Roger, you were first yesterday, I think. Dennis, good to see you. Hopefully I can help distract you from all the crap that's going on right now around you. I'm sorry for you. I've been praying for you. And I do have to kind of take off early today, or at least I have to end at 11 solid because I'm actually doing something that I recommend. And I'm going with a friend to help him pick out a guitar. So we're going to a store in LA, and I'm going to play a bunch of guitars for him, and then he's going to pick one out that he likes. So money is no object, which is nice. When money is no object. Let's see. Michael, good to see you. Well, I already talked to you, so never mind. Take that back. I'm just kidding. Ed, good to see you. Bruce, thank you for being here and moderating as always. Holly, Bruce, you can take a day off, right? Just have to let me know. You have to get permission first. Let's see. David Sillers is here. I saw New York David in the Discord a couple days ago, and we thought maybe he was going to join. Hey, Dan, how's it going? Paul's here. Paul's working. Got me on in the background. And now I know. I watched some of your alt tuning videos. Great stuff. Thanks, Oob. That was actually the alt tunings were the ones that kind of got my initial burst in my channel. And I'm not an alt tuning player. I can play in alt tunings. I have fun. I like writing in them for if I were to ever do like a fingerstyle record, of course it would be mostly alt tunings. And I'm not in alt tuning now. But I'm not in tuning either. So. But those are the videos that kind of got me going. And I was just recounting that yesterday with somebody because the first video I think I ever posted to YouTube, or maybe the second video, was actually, I was just using YouTube as a delivery method. It was set to private. And originally with YouTube, that was a lot of what people were doing too. They were using YouTube to kind of send videos to family and things like that. And so that's what I was doing. I had my brother-in-law Jeff, one of my wife's siblings. He is really into Dan Fogelberg, and Dan Fogelberg likes to play an open D a lot. And he goes, "Yeah, but in open D, how do I play an A minor chord or a C chord or a G chord? I know I can play a G chord here, or what's it, D? No, it would be here. And if I'm, I play a C chord if I bar here in open D." But he was like, to be honest, I didn't know. I'm like, okay, well, let me see if I can figure that out. So I sat down with the guitar and I went, okay, if I put this finger here and this finger there, and some of those chords were kind of not very fun to play, and I started writing them all down. And I uploaded that video, and then I started doing YouTube videos, and that video was set to private. And I thought, you know what, I needed content. I needed to keep content coming. And this is very early on. So I made that private video public. It's funny because it's like I'm going, so Jeff, what you're going to want to do here is that, and then Jeff, you want to do this, and Jeff. So eventually I redid that video, and that's the some fun chords in open D tuning. And I probably even told this story in that video. But that video blew up. That's, probably 5 of my top 10 videos are open tuning videos. I should do more of them. I try, I'm not an expert on it, but I did one recently on just intro to Dadgad or something like that. I did one on, C tuning. That was kind of the first time I ever played C tuning, so I kind of wanted you to experience what I was part of what that was about was me kind of you seeing how my brain works, and so or doesn't. No comment. So anyway, and then yeah, guten Abend, guten Abend, good morning. Oh no, good evening, guten Abend. But in fact, it was one of my subscribers that was a fan of my open tuning videos, who said, "Hey, you should do a video." I had 8,000 subscribers or 7,000 subscribers at the time. You should do a video for tips for older beginners. And I thought, well, sure. I pretty much my entire teaching career, I had a lot of older beginners that were older than me. And so I did 7 tips for older beginners. And that is how almost all of you know who I am, is from that video. So... I'd rather not say, Sam. I'll tell you Monday. I'll tell you Monday because, and it's we actually had to make an appointment. I don't even know if they're allowed to be open, to be honest. But we made an appointment. Their doors are actually not open. So I'll tell you Monday. Though. Ask me Monday and I'll tell you. It's not a big deal. It's just that. I don't want anybody showing up. So, and Beth is working from home today. She won't make appearance, but the cat might. So let's see. Yes, when you play in open different tunings, you have to learn all new scales and all new chord shapes. Open tuning is generally for slide playing and for fingerstyle. And so, I mean, I saw a bluegrass picker. I was watching. I posted, that video on Wednesday, whatever, that was like 20 seconds of a bunch of different bluegrass players, and I think one of them was playing in Dadget, and I'm like, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna be the bluegrass player that plays in Dadget, you're probably pretty much gonna be the bluegrass player that always plays in Dadget. Because I don't know if your brain could work that fast. I mean, I guess with the mandolin, I was able to change a little bit, but I'm not a blazing mandolin player. But I do love playing it. It's fun, right? I was playing it yesterday, you guys, or on Wednesday. In fact, Holly now wants to get a mandolin. Sorry about that. And that mandolin's a cheap one. It was like a $300 Fender one. I need a lot more subscribers so I can buy myself one of those good $5,000 Gibson ones. I don't know if I could justify it even then. I'm in the middle of, I forgot to work on that last night. Dang it. I'm sitting there watching Netflix and not working on tax stuff. I always like to try to figure out my taxes before the end of the year, so if I decide to have to make a major purchase or not. So, yeah, because Michael would show up. You're in LA too. Yeah, well, I'll tell you Monday. I'll tell you how it went on Monday. Hopefully, we're gonna get a nice guitar. Okay, so let's do this scale again. Let's go ahead and do the top one, where we have the 3 red notes are the G's. So play those for me. The 3rd fret on the bottom string, the open G string is obviously a G note, and then the 3rd fret on the 1st string. Okay, and those are great landing notes. There's a G note in the G chord, obviously, and there's a G note in the C chord. If I turn off that light, I don't know if it's better to have this light on or off. As long as you can see me, but those chord things show up better if that light's not on. And it's a little grainy, isn't it? Billy Strings, turmoil and tinfoil video last night. Oh, I'll have to check that out. Thanks, Jay. Yeah, so you can see there's a G note in the C chord. So, you know, half of the song is G chords, and then a quarter of the song is C chords, and another quarter of the song is D. I'm talking about the jam track we have here. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, that jam track. So, and then, Dennis, if you don't mind, if you've got it handy, go ahead and put up the Discord link. I'm learning to delegate, guys. So the G's are good landing notes generally, unless you get to the D chord, and then you maybe want to know where the D notes are. One D note is here on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and another one is the 4th string open. Okay, and D's will work over the G chord because there's a D in the G chord, and of course it'll work over the D chord. So a D note will be a good landing place, basically 75% of that progression. I don't have that progression up right now. Let me see if I have that little PDF somewhere. Desktop, here we go. Yeah, is this it? No. Here it is. Okay, so this is the progression. Dang it. We just forget to double click. I have to double click to get off of that one. Okay, there we go. So this is a little chord progression that we're using. And I just reversed it. Don't reverse. Here we go. Okay, so you can see about a little over 50% of the chords are G, 25% are C, and a little less than 25% are D. The second time we get to the D chord, it's just a 2-beat thing. But a D note works great over a lot of those. And even over the C, the D note sounds really kind of pretty, so it's not a bad note to land on. But we're going to play through the scale a couple times. We're going to go up and down, and I'll just give you fret numbers, and then we're going to go up and down, and I'll give you the actual note names, and then maybe we'll do the one at the bottom there, which is very little different, except we're going to grab the B with our pinky instead of open B. And then the other thing is you're in first position, okay? So your first finger is going to get every note on the 1st fret, which is only one note. Your second finger is going to get every note that's on the 2nd fret, and the 3rd finger is going to get every note that's on the 3rd fret, and 4th finger is going to get every note on the 4th fret, okay? So start here on the 3rd fret of the bottom string, and then go to the open 2nd and 3rd, and open 2nd and 4th on the next string, 2, 4, then open 2, and open 1, 3, and open 2, 3. Okay, and then backwards, 3, 2, 0. On the 2nd string, 3, 1, 0. And then 2, 0. 4. This is the only time you're going to use the 4th finger here, at least in this version of the scale. 4, 2, 0. And then 3, 2, 0. And then 3. Okay. What did Dennis say? Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. No, I'm going to change glasses. It's easier to read the live chat. There we go. Okay. Oh, great. You're playing 4 songs of the church. Key of D, so I put my 12th string, you drop D. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that sounds amazing to get that. Here, Gary, here's a tip. Here's a tip for you. Save that low D until about halfway through the song, maybe for the 2nd chorus, right? So play. So, you play D. I'm in drop D right now, but I'm not giving it away. So we get to the 2nd chorus. It's a great dynamic tool to save that. I will, every time I'm in drop D playing at church or something like that, I will save it because all of a sudden people are like, whoa, what just happened? It's pretty cool. It's fun to watch. Okay. All right. So we're going to do the scale again. And this time I'm going to tell you the note name. So hopefully you can either look at the diagram or you have it memorized already. I hope you have it memorized, but that's okay if you don't. Okay, so we have G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. And then descending, G, F sharp, E, and then D, C, B, A, G, F sharp, E, and G, D, F sharp, D, E, and D, C, B, A, hard to do it backwards, and then G. Okay, so find me 3 Gs. I'll give you a second. Okay, that, open there, and there. And I could also do, it would be harder, but I could also create the scales where I have the letter names instead of dots. But the dots are easy because I can just copy and paste them. I guess I could copy. It's just hard because it's just weird. I could put letters like white letters inside the dots. It's just too much work. So lazy. But you know, it's just one of those things. But the scale is also up here. Nope. Dang it, I did it wrong. I tried to go without thinking and went right to the wrong thing. It's right there. So the notes in the scale are written right there. We have 1 sharp, okay? Let's play the scale along with the jam track. But we're gonna play 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna slow it down to 75. Which is the cool thing about 1, 2. So I don't know if you can play the scale on quarter notes here. We can try it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Maybe too fast. That may be too fast. But I'm not going to slow it down any more than that. But we can, we'll take it slower, but we'll just do it without a track, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Let's see, what should you do? Quarter notes? Try this fast. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Downbeats. 1, 2, 3, 4. D, E, F sharp, G, A. You can sing along with it if you want. D, F sharp, D. Okay, and then back. Yeah, your pinky hasn't had a coffee. Well, when we do the mixolydian, you'll be fine. Okay, so let's practice just the D string. Back down to E. D, E, G. Okay, wait, dip the pinky in some coffee. Okay, now. Oh, wow. You can just practice that. Also, you can do up to D, up to the G note. Hey, Denise, good to see you. Leon. Max, good to see you. Gary's here. Jan, okay, I saw you. Yeah, I saw you, Jan. You're there. What were you saying about Open D, Holly? Let me get that. Go on, right up here. Can't find my way home is in drop D. I can play it fingerstyle. Oh, great. That's awesome. Yeah, it's funny. I guess you can. Somebody was saying A friend of mine was saying that he still does my arrangement of he says it starts on the 5. I think that's what I did. I know there's chord changes besides these in it. He said it was like a John Mayer thing. I don't know if it was John Mayer, because this is like before John Mayer was a thing. It was more like a James Taylor thing, I think. It was like, oh man. Tuned to play in G and not in E right now. Oh, that's sharp. And it was like oh man, I used to be able to sing and play at the same time. It's been a while. And then it turns around somewhere. Does a circle of fifths or something. Anyway, but kind of a fun. Doesn't go there. I'm sorry, I got to click on this to keep up with the chat. Okay. Oh, what did Sam say? Where did it go? Sam, good suggestion. Save for a little later. Where did Sam's suggestion go? Sam, I am. Where are you? Oh. Can I make a suggestion that I found very useful when I was transitioning from beginner to intermediate? The old hammer on to C from G and backtrack. Oh yeah. I'm just hitting the strings. I'm just hitting the strings with the palm of my hand. Just doing that. So basically, the further up here you do it, the better, because the goal is to really get the strings hit the frets, and when they hit the frets, they make a slap sound. If you do it back here, it's not going to happen. You're going to get a kick drum sound, like when you do. That's the flamenco thing, or the Gypsy Kings kind of vibe. Get the kick drum and then the snare up here, but I'm basically just doing that bass chord slap. So I'm a bass player, I'm a guitar player, and I'm a drummer. Not warmed up. Now, that's the tricky one, is when you want to have a slap and a chord ring at the same time. So what I'm doing there is I'm doing this, but I'm hitting the strings with my fingers with enough force to create the slap. Downward force. And I'm kind of hitting the top of the guitar at the same time. That's a John Mayer trick. Actually, I would say this is more like Tears in Heaven vibe, like the Eric Clapton, acoustic record, that he did years ago. So, yeah, I think Sam, you're talking about that one. Right? Exactly. I need a harmonica. I should have my voice, but it's just not like it used to be. Okay, so let's try this second scale down here. You knew I was going to do that. No! There. Over here, the bottom one. Okay. The only difference between the bottom and top one is we're going to... Holly, is your pinky had its coffee yet? The difference between the bottom one and the top one is that we're going to play the B note with our pinky on the G string instead of playing an open B. And I'm working on, I've already got the new song written for the next section. So it's, we're going to be doing pentatonic scales. So I called it Pent Up, which I felt like was a good lockdown title. So it's going to be called Pent Up, and the melody actually goes up. So every bar, most every bar has a bump, bum, the melody goes up. So it's a play on words and a play on musical fun, whatever. Okay, so here we go. Okay, pinky's having tea. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go. So if you go to the D string, go D, fourth string here, open D, second finger on the second fret, fourth finger on the fourth fret. There's your F sharp. Then hit the open G, and then hit the A note there with the second finger, and then the pinky on the B note. Now the real temptation is to move your hand up and go, and we might do that. In fact, in this one, no, I didn't do it in this one, but that B note's really nice to see that it's there, okay? Because you are going to have licks that are going to go like this. Play open G, put your second finger on A like you normally would, right? And then hit A and slide up 2 frets, okay? And then hit D right there. And that with your first finger. Now, normally you would hit D in this scale with your third finger. But we're doing a little lick, so the lick, and that lick works great over. And you can go backwards on it too. That's very common. Let me play the track, and I'll just show you that. Oh, it's 75. Let's put it at regular speed, normal speed. There we go. See that? That's that lick. So knowing that B note is there is a really good thing. Okay, it's a very, very usable lick. So that's kind of why I showed you the scale variation with the B note on the third string. Okay. So that just to know it's there more than anything. Playing it this way may not do that very often, okay? I do like, but that's not playing the B note, that's the F sharp. But I love that D, F sharp, A, and C over the D chord. To get that dominant 7 sound, that D7 sound, sounds so good over that chord, okay? Yeah, I'm not going to do anything in open tunings. Not with the bluegrass thing. You like cheesy puns? Oh, I'm glad. You're in the right place. Yeah, we're learning all these scales, and everything has to be relearned in a different tuning. So if I were talking slide, when I talked about slide, we talked about open G tuning. I may do a series on open G tuning. We did a series on, did we not do a series on, we did Dadgad, right? That was one of the, I need to update my list, but I do have a list of lessons done. Let's see, this is the list, but this is not a file I can place in. Yeah, I need to, when did I stop doing channel content? Here we go, live. What was the last pentatonic? Okay, that was 145. Okay, so I went from lesson 135 to 145 was 3 pentatonic blues. Okay, so now we're at lesson 148 now, and paste 148 to now, and we're doing intro to bluegrass. Basically, is what I'm calling it. Ugh, there we go. Cap lock. Cool. There we go. Intro to bluegrass. So it's pretty basic stuff. I mean, if I were doing advanced bluegrass, I might talk about open G tuning. Okay. Let me do a little screen grab of this, and then I can post it. All right. Just go to the desktop, and I'll take care of you there. All right. So close this. And then, so this is just a list of what we've done, the lessons we've done since the COVID lesson started. Okay, let's see, I think this is it. Let me make sure. Okay. And I can, we're going to be working on this scale for a second so I can cover that up. I mean, I think all of you would prefer this. All right, stop laughing. Okay. So we're doing the bottom scale. We're going to play, again, we're going to play the B note here and then the C note here. Do that for me. Just go B, C. And I may do one of my favorite things. And Holly, I think you'll like this, but it's hard to get down. It's very difficult. But I may do some scales that utilize open strings. For example, and the reason you do that is to have a lot of ringing. If you do. It's kind of a banjo thing, actually. Banjo players really start doing it first. And guitar players trying to sound like banjo players would do this. And it's kind of cool. You got these, you know. Get these pentatonic scales, things like that. So, Bruce, I'm preparing a downloadable master list. Okay. Okay, that would be great. Oh man, Bruce, stop it! You're doing too much work. Is your wife getting mad at you because you have too much free time? She's making you do all this. Okay, so let's do this G major scale, but with the B note fretted instead of open. Okay, so we're going to be the same as before. Everything is going to be the same until we get to the third string. So we have G, okay, third fret on the bottom string, then 0, 2, 3, 0, 2, 4. 0, 2, 4 again. So we have some symmetry or redundancy, which I like. And then 1, 2. See, we're not playing open. In fact, let's play that little snippet of the scale. G, the open G string, second fret, fourth fret, second, or first fret of the second string, third fret, back to the first fret, down to the fourth fret, second fret, open. Because I like to do, sometimes I like to do, instead of going, right? You could do that. Or you could go. And that works great over the C chord. You have that option to get that half step, that minor second sound, which is very difficult on guitar normally. Well, it's not easy. It's not easy. Let me maybe try to utilize that now. We did the other lick in the context of the groove. Let me play the groove. And again, here's the groove I'm using. It's one of my most popular videos, actually, which is funny. It's just a jam track. which I did a few more of these, and they were hugely unpopular. So I was like, dang it. I was trying to get more spins. This one's got well over 100,000 spins, which is pretty good, especially considering the amount of time I put into it. Okay, so... It's kind of cool. I mean, I like those kind of things. That may be a little bit too weird and too advanced for many of you, but I really do like playing those interesting intervals. When we get to the Mixolydian, we'll have that FG thing to do, which will be fun. Where you've got that, like the... You got that... we'll have, it's just cool to have that F natural in there. It makes really capitalizes the blues part of bluegrass. Right now, we're spending more time on the grass. We're hooked on grass right now with that whole happy major scale thing. Rich, what's going on, man? All right, let's see. Hey, Bruce. And then that's a blues scale lick, which are going to be fun too. We're going to get to all those. It's really fun, because the progressions are pretty simple. So it is really a soloist's milieu. What channel are you on? He said milieu. Look at my hair. Woo! I look ready to go out. I haven't been out of the house except to go get coffee in 5 days or something. It's literally been 5 days since I've left the house. And not because we're in lockdown. I could care less about that. I should go walking at 10 o'clock and see if I get arrested. If I don't show up Monday, you'll know why. Tom went walking at 10:01. The sheriff said that all the sheriffs said they're not going to enforce the lockdown order, but the problem is I'm not in the jurisdiction of any sheriff. I got LAPD, but they're pretty cool. I know a lot of the LAPD guys in our precincts. So they all go to my church. Okay, so now we have Uncle Jan's Reel. You can go. So again, the story behind that was on Tuesday, I decided I would write a song using just the G major scale over that chord progression, which is the chord progression in that YouTube video. And that same day, Dennis's uncle Jan passed away of COVID. And that same day, my sister got released from the hospital with COVID. And so I asked Jan if it would be okay if I named the song after him, because I don't know. That's to me, that's a compliment, but I don't know. In different cultures, that may be I don't know, especially since it's a happy song, which is good. We should celebrate life and somebody's life. So, and he said that would be cool. So I totally named it Uncle Jan's Reel. I had it originally was going to, actually, until I knew your uncle's name, I actually called it Uncle Joe's because I think you'd said his name. And so Joe came to mind for some reason. That's probably because it started with a J. So I originally called it Uncle Joe's Reel. And then I thought, because the word reel is just another word for jig or song or tune or whatever. And it's oftentimes used with a fiddle reel is a lot of original bluegrass music were fiddle reels that were like Irish fiddle reels that guitar players learned and stuff. And keep in mind, violin and mandolin are tuned the same. In fact, I remember back, you can look it up, you can hear some, but back in the day, they used to have things called mandolin orchestras. In Buffalo, New York, had a mandolin orchestra, and it would, they'd have 20 people playing mandolin, and then, 10 or 15 people playing mandolas, and then they'd have, another 10 people playing mandocellos, and then they'd have, 10 people or 5 people playing bass mandolins, and they would play Vivaldi and things like that. Anything that was all strings, they could just read. It was the same exact notes as a violin. But it would sounded different because it was all mandolins instead of strings. So it was, instead of bowed notes. Oh, touch my face. That's one of the COVID rules. Everybody take a sip. So basically what I did was I wrote this thing and I dedicated it to Dennis's uncle. And so I'm going to play it right now. The other day we went through it line by line. You can get this, at the Discord. I'll post the Discord link. Or unless Dennis beats me to it. Of course, he probably won't from my perspective because, and easy, that's a crazy looking guitar there with the strings going in all different directions. Copy. Okay, now see if Dennis beat me. Yeah. He probably posted it, and I posted it now. So, but you can go there and you can download this PDF and print it up and have it in front of you if you want. Okay. But I'll play it again so you can hear. I'll play it a couple times through, and it's utilizing the G scale that we're. Okay, I'll play it without the track just so you can hear it. In fact, one of the things that I did, and I try to do, I think the new one is good that way too. I really try to make it obvious where the chords are changing. Okay, the first note in every bar is, for the most part, a chord tone. Well, let's see. So far, yes. There's only one time when it goes to the G to D fast. The first time I'm on a G note for the D, but I do that. I'm off it really quick. So here's the melody. What perfect. Okay, and I messed up in the very place I told you not to mess up, and that was the, right, where we have that B, D, and then we hold the D for 2 8th notes. I didn't do an upstroke on the E, and then so my picking pattern got turned around, which is exactly why you want to go down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. You just keep that down, up thing going. Who was it? Was it JT or John John Y that was talking? Somebody was talking about picking efficiency or that kind of stuff, and that's a big thing in like metal music or speed metal or speed. There's certain tricks you use for picking that you might pick in the same direction twice or something like that. But generally in bluegrass, you want to pick the downbeats. Okay, if it's a bunch of 8th notes, and keep in mind that tempo I was playing at was probably 70 or so, okay? But bluegrass tunes, they can get up in the 200s. So an 8th note, so at 200, in fact, I don't know if I could, did I play it at 200 before? an eighth note is going to sound like a 16th note at 200. But thanks to the magic of YouTube, I can do the playback speed at 2 times normal. Okay, so that renders a song. This is 100. It makes it 200. I can do it. I just need more volume, I think. Play. What? Did it stop again? Don't pause. Why are you pausing? Oh, refresh.
You know, when I tried this toothbrush,
ad. The ad's only at the beginning. Oh, it has 2 ads. Okay, well, I'm making buka bucks on this one. Oh no, just 1 ad. Okay. 2, 3, 4. That's pretty fast. Let me go. Let me play it at. Let's see. Let me go with 1.5 to start, and then see, because I know I can do it. I wrote it. I should be able to do it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's 150 because the original track was 100, so 1.5, so 1.75 would make it 175, which is in the doesn't that sound a lot more fun at that tempo too? I mean, at the 100, it's pretty slow, and it it sounds almost like a more melancholy song, but at a faster tempo, it starts to get into that bluegrass realm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna try 200. Shoot. Thank damn it. Okay. I'm gonna fail in front of all of you, so this is no big deal, right? Don't I do that pretty much every day? All right. Let's see. If I had it memorized. I know it's a little out of reach. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey! I get it. So actually, I guess just a second ago I was doing it more like a 225. So that's not bad, but it definitely sounds more bluegrassy at the faster tempo. So, Becker, what's going on? Okay, so it'll be fun when we start working some blues licks in, and of course we're who knows how many songs I'll write because what we're gonna do on Monday we're gonna learn. See, if I show you all 4 pentatonics, the G major pentatonic, the C major pentatonic, and a D major pentatonic, okay? If I show you all 4 of those, then I can show you the song, because the song utilizes, and then I'll do it like I did before with the transcriptions. I need to upload a new version of this too. I did a new version of this, and I got rid of the chord symbols over the tab, which is redundant, I believe. I don't like that. And I also got to put the little copyright on the bottom there. So I may delete the one that's up there and replace it with the newer one, okay? And remember, I have to be done by 11. So anyway, at that tempo, it's still fun. It still makes sense. And we can go through this again phrase by phrase, but And here's the thing. Essentially what these are too are just a bunch of licks. So if you're playing a different song, you can quote these. I mean, that's just essentially a lick. So this is nothing but a series of licks that make musical sense together, but taken apart. And you know, if you do, if you did that, they all transition really nice too. If you'll notice, I can bring in the. Again, this has less to do with playing and more with the composition, but you like it when it covers my face, I know, but that's just not going to stay there. Okay, so you'll notice it starts with a pickup, right? Okay, so again, the first thing you see there at the very far left is a treble clef. That tells you this is a treble clef instrument. It's also called a G clef, and if you look at the curly Q thing, where that little curly Q ends, it ends on the G note. That's a G note. In fact, the first song of the chord of the first note of the song is a G note. Okay, see it's on that second line from the bottom, and see that the bottom of that treble clef, also known as a G clef, and maybe it's called a G clef because it kind of looks like a G. I don't know, but it's also the tip of it there tells you where a G note is. Okay, and then it's one sharp, and that F sharp goes for the entire duration of the song. When you have a key signature, it makes it really nice. I don't have to write F sharps all over the place. You write one F sharp, okay, right here, right there. I wish my finger could go in front of it just goes behind. But if you got one F sharp there, you're done. Okay, so that every F down here is sharped, unless you say, you know, natural sign. So, okay, so you'll notice that going into each first note, so the first note of each bar is a chord tone. All right, the first one is a B. All right, that open B string, and that's the third of the G chord. The next bar, which is when it goes to C, that first note is an E, and that's the third of the C chord. And then it goes back to B again, the third of the G chord. And then, so I have a kind of a trend here. I seem to like the third. I'm playing an F sharp over the D chord, which is the third of the F sharp. Okay, so if you look over, yeah, ooh, I did it right. If you look over here, you can see the triad tones. This is the G, GBD, root, third, fifth, C, E, G, root, third, fifth, and D, F, sharp, A, root, third, fifth. Don't worry, there won't be a quiz on that. Everybody take a celebratory sip. That's a drinking game rule. There will not be a quiz on that, but I keep saying it, so hopefully you know what a third is, a fifth is, a root is. Those are triads. Those are three-note chords. Okay, now, each one of those bars starts on the melody starts on a chord tone. But look at the note right before that note. I tried to go diatonically in the major scale. I tried to pick a note either above or below that note to get to it. So it had momentum getting to that note, okay? Ba, 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 ba. That A really wants to go to the B. Da, 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 da. That D wants to go to the E, right? Da, 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 da. That D, A wants to go to the B. Da, 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 da. That G really wants to go down to that F sharp. Okay, that's a half step leading thing. Ba, 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 ba. And I think if you look at the last note of the whole phrase here, last note on this page, that's a C note. I think my next note is going to be a B. So let me remove this. We'll do the next phrase. Okay, that's just called, you know, leading, chord leading, or not chord leading, but melody leading or leading tones. Okay, you're basically holding everybody's hand and saying, here's what's coming next. I've told you about this, where a really good bass player can telegraph every chord change. He can tell if you listen, a good bass player will like, doom, 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 boom, ba-doom, you know exactly what's coming. So you don't even have to have a chart in front of you. If you've got good ears, you can just follow a good bass player. Okay, so that last note was C, and the next note was B. So we'll go C, B as a half step, and that's a really strong lead. Again, a neighboring tone. So here we have the we got 5 starting notes because we got 5 chord changes here. But the first one is here. We have a B, which is the third of the G. We have a C, which is the root of the C. We have a G, which is the root of the G. Here, I just stuck with the G. I could have done a different melody there, but I actually like that melody, so I kept it. So that's the only time it doesn't work. And here again, we have a G over the G, which is the root, okay? All right, sorry. So, and then again, let's see if I did it. No, I didn't do it purely, okay? So look here, G, and remember the note before that was a C, so that makes sense. Here's this B to a C, there's a half step lead. Let's go, leads right to it. Here's an A down to a G, that's one scale tone next to the very next scale tone. And then here's one example where I didn't do it. I land this lick on a D and I jump up to D. I landed on a D and I jump up to G. So that's an example. Okay, the last note is a C, so let's see where we go from there. This may be too inside baseball. Yeah, Holly, at some point I will do that. Let's see. Maybe what I'll do is, that may have to be made private, because if I do a basic, I'll figure it out. Holly. Although I'm playing it in this video, so you can kind of watch it in this video, right? Just bookmark this video and then go back to that, timestamp it. The only reason I'm hesitant is because if at some point I record it and get it to the production company, they may register it, and then if it gets used in a TV show or something like that, then the video will get flagged. But that may not happen for a long time. So, okay, so then what was my last note? C. So I went C to D. That's a scale tone. So I'm here again. D is the fifth of G. C is the root of C. B is the third of G, and A is the root fifth of D. Whew, too much thinking. Okay, I apologize for all this. So then here we have end with a B, but we go to a C. B, C, that's a half step. We go C, B, that's another half step descending. And then here we have B to A. So everything's leading. Again, it's the way I wrote the melody intentionally was to push, every bar pushes into the next. And one of the things, remember I talk about this, when you solo, you can, here, I'm going to have to get rid of this. Or maybe put this, where can I put this? Don't do that. Make it a little smaller. Okay. And I'm going to drag it up here. Okay. So, I've said in the past that you can play over each chord. So you have a G chord, right? Go to the C chord. Okay, and then you go to the G chord. And then you go to D chord. Right? You can play a lick over each chord, right? But I also talk about playing through progressions where you connect everything. So it's not just lick, chord change, lick, chord change, lick, chord change, lick, chord change. That's one way to play. Remember, we talk about soloing being a constant road with many forks in it, and you have to make decisions along the way. And this is one of the decisions, and that decision can be made throughout the song. You can go back and forth from playing a lick over the. And again, don't think that soloing has to be this complex. It's just in the conceptual, aspect of it. But you can go back and forth from playing licks over a chord to playing through the chord progression. And I like these licks because, like, that lick. See, that's a good lick, transition lick from G to C. So you could use that by itself if you're just going. Right? So you don't have to play the whole melody. You just use little snippets of it as transitional. But the way I wrote this is very, very through the progression kind of thing. So again, this passage is, again, a very thematic. And there we get away from the theme. Now, what could I have done? I could have gone. I could have done that if I wanted to continue the theme. Sorry. That would have been cool too. But I like the kind of finality of that, and then it goes G, A, and then to B. The next note is going to be a B. So again, the transition or the connection is just a scale tone away. So with the exception of one bar, I think every one of these, maybe 2 bars. We'll see what happens here. I forget. Oops. No, I want to drag all that in there. There we go. So this is the last 4 bars of the tune of Uncle Jan's Reel. All right. Yeah. Again, the same resolution I had before. I did that. The last going into the last bar, I went. It's a 4th. But to me, that boom, bum, it's a very strong resolution. So I didn't need to go. I could have done that. I could have gone. Oops. Or I could have gone. I don't know. There's a lot of ways I could have gone, but that's actually I like the melodic movement of that. So remember we came out of the A B. I'm sorry, G A B. Okay, now here's a big picture point, okay? And I've said this before. Big picture stuff. This is bookmarkable. No. Okay. And let's see who else is here. Gary's here. Catherine. Hey, Catherine. Good to see you. I hope I hope your meeting's not too long. We need you here. Rick Forster, is there any difference between country and bluegrass? Yeah, I would say there's definitely a difference between country and bluegrass. But there is a lot of overlap. There's a lot of. I'll tell you how you know. There's a difference in country and bluegrass. If you listen to country music stations, you'll know when a bluegrass song comes out. If it's someone like, pretty much every major country artist has done either a bluegrass record or they've done a song that was really, flavored with bluegrass. So hey Jeff, how's it going? And Gary's right. Country has become very country pop. It's been accused of that really since Dolly Parton days. I mean the '70s. Because country. Slim Whitman and those. That was the '60s. And Buck Owens and all that stuff. And then it definitely got more. Country, but there's definitely there's a difference between country and Western swing, right? But yet artists will do Western swing songs. So you can definitely tell the difference between country and bluegrass. I know if you're not from America, if you're outside the U.S., you might not notice. It might all sound the same to you. And I guarantee you that's true with German folk music. I'd be like, it all sounds like Oompa music to me. So I get that. Okay, here's I'm giving you insight into the composition of this for a couple reasons. One, just because to me, it's one of those things that's kind of interesting. And I'm pretty proud of this. Dennis, I think this is a nice little tune. Especially at the upper tempos. I think when I record it, I'll probably do it at like 180 or something because I feel like that's a kind of a sweet spot for this song. And songs do definitely have sweet spots for tempos. Tempos are very, very particular. I will write a song with a group of people and we will slave over what's the perfect tempo for this song. And it could be, 140 or 142 and you'd be shocked at the difference when you're trying to sing over that. But the composition of this, remember, here's the big picture thing. When you're improvising, you're composing. All right? So if I were a good bluegrass player, and that progression came up at, say, 200, I might just spontaneously play this note for note, first time, never having heard it or played it before. In other words, when you're composing or when you're improvising, when you're soloing and making it up as you go, you're composing. and this whole melody sequence may just come up that fast if you're really good at soloing. So when you're really good at soloing, you're essentially composing on the fly. Now, I've done both where I've done good solos the first time. I remember telling you the story about Lukather. When I met Steve Lukather, who's the guitar player for Toto, but did a million session things. I said, man, I really loved your solo on Talk to You Later by the Tubes. And he goes, yeah, that was the first take. And I wanted to redo it because the last note was out of tune. And I can't remember if it's sharp or flat, but they were all like so screaming and so happy in the studio. Like, oh my God, that was the most amazing solo. They were like, no. Because remember, that was back in the day with the tape. And if you did it again, that one would be gone. so they definitely, there's definitely a composing on the fly aspect for good soloists. They can do it. It doesn't hurt to know the progression really well because you know what you're dealing with. But that's true of rock music. It's true of jazz music. It's true of country music. It's true of bluegrass. It's true of any style of music where you're going to have improvisation. So, yeehaw, yeah, Becker. It's all the same. Yeah, exactly. I always forget her name, but she's got a beautiful voice, and she's Alison Krauss. You know, when she has a song, she's kind of in the bluegrass realm. Her band is very bluegrass, great players, and there's a lot of crossover. A lot of the session guys, all the people that play on country records are bluegrass players. It's like, you know, back in the days of the Wrecking Crew. If you haven't watched the Wrecking Crew, check it out. I think you can watch. In fact, I'll find it on YouTube because it's actually for free on YouTube with ads, and it's really great. So check this out. But anyway, the Wrecking Crew, those guys were all jazzers. Okay? And, no. Oh, where is it? Oh, did it go away? No. I guess I got to do full movie here. It was up. Full movie. Dang it. I mean, it was actually a YouTube movie, maybe, huh? Well, you could probably find it somewhere. The Wrecking Crew, and it took Dennis, whose dad is one of the members, passed away and was one of the members. The whole thing started with Dennis filming his dad talking about his days in the Wrecking Crew, because his dad was dying of cancer and he wanted to kind of memorialize and have that stuff remembered, and then it turned into the movie, essentially, I think. Oh, nice. Thanks, Gary. That's good to know. Yeah, Alison Krauss is definitely bluegrass. Her band is freaking amazing, and her dobro player, just, I don't know how. I watch him play. I see what he's doing, but I'm like, that's not physically possible. It's like, I don't think you can do that. Oh, somebody asked me to play the dobro. Do I have finger picks handy? Let's see. How many finger picks do I need? Do I usually play with 3 or 2? I can't remember. I'll know as soon as I have the instrument in my hands. In fact, I was messing around with this dobro slide, which is different than. Let's see. Where's the one I usually use? I don't know where the one I usually use is. Well, the one I usually use is in the case. And then there's another one that I use that is more. Hold it. This thing's harder to hold on to. But the great thing about this is because of the tip, you can get single notes, which is really cool. I don't know if I can really play. Tune it. There's no way I could play this melody. I could try to play this melody. That would actually be a really good exercise. But it's an open tuning. So my tuning, I'm kind of not doing the standard dobro tuning, which would be GBD, GBD. I'm doing an open G tuning. GBD, GBD, if you look up here, hey, look, I did it right. It's just two triads, GBD, GBD. But I have it D. Okay, yeah, Wrecking Crew documentary. Thank you, Bruce. Can you put a link? Or do I have to do that? I don't know why it didn't show up on my stream. But you can watch it for free. It just got a couple ads. I don't even remember seeing any ads in it, but I think there were. Leo, was this you who asked me to do? This is not a Nashville. This is just a Gretsch. This is a cheap Gretsch. I have a Nashville Duolian from the 20s, 29. But the nice thing about this slide is I can. See, I got to remember the C's over here, not here. What is it? See, that's one of the things that. What's the guy's name that plays with Alison Krauss? Did somebody put his name up there? Jerry Douglas. Thank you, Jerry Douglas. Holy crud! That guy is insane. So like this lick, right? You have to. It's physically you have to move the bar. It's not like fretting and having 4 fingers available. You essentially have 1 finger, right? Or I can go. He does this. He makes it sound like he's got 4 fingers. It sounds like he's got 4 of these on the fretboard. Let's see. See, there's an example like on the 5th bar where I would take that lick that I wrote, but on the dobro it lays down pretty nice because the E is here, right, at the 5th fret, same as the open E, but it's not open E in dobro because I got a D string. So I got the G up here, and then it goes, no. See, there I would go. Oh, no. See, that's hard. I would have to do it there. That's a hard lick on dobro. Let's see. See again here. That lick works really, really good on the dobro, but this one not so much. How did I do it before? So if I was writing this song on dobro, it wouldn't have that lick in it. I don't know if you can see any of this. And the other issue you have is like your tuning is a major issue because you are the tune. So when you move too fast, you're going to go overshoot a note or undershoot a note, and Jerry Douglas never does that. His pitch is like freaking spot on. And he's looking around the room, you know. It's like, how does he do it? Oh, thank you so much, Bruce. It's such a great movie. And it took, I donated some money to Denny. They were doing one of those fundraiser things because he needed to, well, I'll tell you what he did in a second. Let me finish this. Would be one way to play it. Here's that lick, but backwards. So So if I were to solo over the jam, let's see, where's the jam? Here it is. I think we're back at 100, right? Oh, I'm muted. No, we're at 200. Hilarious. Okay. Now I'm not going to play this melody, but I can solo over it using the dobro. This is really a resonator that I put a string lifter on. So you see that? See that piece of metal on the nut? That holds the strings up so I can play it like a dobro. But if I take that out, I can play it like a guitar. Nah, messed up. Anyway, I'm practicing on your time. Practice on your own time, Tom. All right, let's see. So, but was it Leo? Leo, I wasn't sure if it was you that said, when are you going to grab the National? And that's just a Gretsch. I think, here I can post a link so you can take a look at it. And if you buy it, cool, because I make a little bit. Here's at Amazon. Here's basically, I think it's called, is it the Boxcar? So Gretsch, they have a whole series of these kind of, let's see, is it Boxcar or something like that? Boxcar Resonator, yeah, look at that. Let's see what this is here. Yeah, round neck, and that is a round neck. So that, like a round neck, you can play like a guitar, and then you can get the. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It does, for me, kind of gets that, and I'm not a total aficionado. I may have gotten the bobtail. Oh, this one so there's two of them here. This one doesn't have a pickup in it, I don't think, but this one does. Yes. And actually, the pickup's kind of cool. So, because I use it sometimes in soundtracks where I'll use put a lot of reverb and make it really messy and delays and things like that. So here's the one without the pickup, and I think it's, what did they say? 429 arrives before Christmas, it says. So maybe if you want to put that on your Christmas list. And then here's another one. Again, these are links that give me credit for you guys buying them if you so desire. But here's the one with the pickup in it, and this one's more. Paste. This one, the other one was, this one's 600, it's 599, and it says one left in stock. So you guys are gonna have to race to get it. I touched my face. But, and that's, yeah, that's the exact one I have. I got mine at Guitar Center. I just went in and it was like, oh, this is cool. And then the string lifter I got, string lifter, I think is what it's called. Yeah, dobro. What the heck is that thing called? Oh, here it is. Something like this. That's not quite it. Oh, and it won't come with a slide, so you're going to need a slide. Some kind of bar slide, which those typically run 20 to 30 bucks. Well, yeah, I see them here for 10 bucks. That's not bad. But you're going to need something like that. All right, so string, nut. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Boom. So this is the thing where you can take it. It's called the Golden Gate slide guitar conversion. You can do this. This is a great little tool. You can take any guitar and turn it into a slide guitar with this. Okay, you have any acoustic or even electric. I have it on electric. I have it on an Epiphone guitar that you guys never see. And that's this thing. Put a picture of the new guitar after you're done guitar shopping for your friend. I may be able to. We'll see if he'll be up. He may post it. I'm not getting a new guitar. I'm helping a friend out. Yeah, I'm helping a friend out. I'm still working on my taxes to figure out if I can buy a new guitar this year. You know, if I need to buy, because when you're, you know, a guitar player for a living, you can write off those purchases. And I generally, what I do is I 1079 them, which means I write them off the full amount, the year of I put it into service. You can do that with up to, I don't know what it's up to $24,000 a year now or something like that. Yeah, I know who I don't know how I say your name, but yeah, I was just telling someone yesterday that if I bought a couple vintage Fenders like Strats, like even early 70 Strats, American made ones, I could go to Europe, sell them, and fund a good month-long trip to Europe on the difference, because yeah, they definitely jack up the prices of American things. And the funny thing is that that guitar is not made in America. It's probably made in China. It's not like I don't even know if, yeah, it's made in China. I don't even know if the high-end Gretches anymore, the White Falcons and stuff, I think they're made in Korea or Japan now. So anyway, my shoes are loose. I'm tightening my shoes. But yeah, and like I said, with that string lifter thing, you can take any acoustic. If you have a cheap acoustic, you could totally turn it into a slide guitar. I should do that, actually. I want to get one of the instruments I don't have is what's called a Weizenborn, which was predates the electric guitar, but it basically from the 20s, I think. It may go back older than that, but it was a Hawaiian guitar, usually koa body and everything. And it had a hollow neck. It was meant to sit on your lap. It was basically an acoustic lap guitar. You play with a slide. And I've never owned one. I ran across a Weizenborn at a guitar store before I even knew what they were, and it was only $300. And I literally went back the same day. I saw it in the morning, and I went. It was my friend's store. He sometimes is on here, I think. I don't know. Scott Jennings, you're not on right now, are you watching? But I went back. I should have called. Well, I took a couple hours later, 3 hours later. I said, you know what? $300. I should get that because that's a cool instrument. I don't have one of those. And I went back and it was gone. And those things, you can't find them for less than $3,000 to $5,000 now. I mean, if I look up an actual Weizenborn on Reverb, I'll post a picture so you guys can see. Weizenborn. Okay, Gold Tone makes one, and I can get one from Gold Tone. I have a deal with them. They give me, oh, no, really? Here's one for $13,000. I could have had it for, here's a teardrop one. Oh my gosh. Wait, this is like a 4-string one though. See, I wouldn't get a 4-string one. This is 6-string. Holy crud. Oh, it breaks my heart. I hate that. I should have bought it. That's why I have a rule now. If I see something, in fact today, that's too big of a URL. I'll delete. Okay. Let me see if I can find a smaller URL for this. That's weird. Is there a way to share this? Well, just Google, or just go to Reverb and enter that Weizenborn. Okay, so A metal flask will work. That's true. For slide, is that what you're talking about? Tom put a, oh yeah, I can't. You see, Sam, lots of yeah. A lot of people use the term slide anyway. I'm helping. Yeah, I'm going today to a store in LA to help a friend pick out a guitar. One of my tips is when you're going to buy a guitar, take a player with you. Now he plays guitar, but he's not a player. And oh, I had an extra fingered thing. Look at that. Take a player with you so you can hear the guitar from in front. He's an engineer, so he knows what a good guitar sounds like. And so he will hopefully recognize it. I'm touching my face again, so we can all take sips. See, it's because I'm thirsty. That's why I'm touching my face. All right, so let's see. What else do we have? A lot of acoustic ones is 500 euro. Oh, yeah, that. Let's see. Oh, you almost got the first 2.5 measures down. Good for you, Holly. That makes me happy. And you can use your third finger on that F sharp note if it helps, but I don't know if that would help. Emerald is making one. Oh, one of those Weizenborns. Yeah, about 3K. Yeah, this one was, and sometimes the URLs for these are smaller. I don't know why the URL for that one was so big. Here's a Style 4 for $3,000, but this one may have, it says very good condition. It's a really fascinating guitar to look at because the necks are hollow. So the necks are really fat. These pictures are awful though. You can't tell any. This guy put horrible pictures up. That's probably why it hasn't sold. Here's a 20s one for 3,800. You know, I can't really justify it. I just can't justify spending that kind of money. And this doesn't even, is it, are we sure it's a Weizenborn? Oh, maybe if we look in the sound hole. Yeah, you could, if you look at some of these pictures, let me see if this URL is smaller. Oh, this URL is much smaller. Why was that other URL a billion? Okay, so you can check this out. But that's a Weizenborn. You can look at the, it's funny because if you look at the neck, it's big. It's the neck, it's like the neck comes down, you know, is here and it's hollow. And the guitar is made to play on your lap. The frets sometimes are actual frets and sometimes they're just painted on. Or they're like they cut for the frets and then they fill it with a lighter wood or light, and that's kind of what they did here. It's kind of like what I had done to my ukulele, right? I had my ukulele made fretless. Yeah, so that's kind of a, I don't, are we sure that's Weizenborn? Oh, no, it says Weizenborn style. Well, no, but style, that would be the model. Yeah. No, it's got to be Weizenborn. Here's a Weizenborn by Finn, number 2. Weizenborn custom ukuleles. See, they made ukuleles too, but they got known for the, here's a 28 one style A. Oh, weird. So this is a guitar. So they actually made guitars too. I don't think I knew that. That's beautiful. But it's $5,000. But I bet it sounds good. My 1924 Martin is probably modeled after this guitar because it's all Koa. And it's in pretty mediocre shape, but it works great for me. Yeah, so I'd love to find, if any of you want to just give me a Weizenborn. Here's, yeah. It's a fascinating instrument. Oh, they're made out of carbon fiber. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that one's made in 1920, right? Is that what it said? 1920s, yeah. Crazy. Yeah, I mean, so it's vintage, and so you're paying a premium for vintage, which is always going to be the case. But sometimes things that are vintage are in horrible shape, and they don't justify the price. Slack key. Yep. Slack key is kind of another term for that. You're right. I forgot about that. Oh, your dad's from Hawaii. Does Slack key have commented? Not really. Not at all. Slack key does not. The only thing that Slack key, in fact, I can show you. Let me change the tuning. I mean, the technique is similar, right? So because you're learning dobro, it's essentially like playing dobro. But in slack key, I'm going to tune this to instead of it's open G right now, so I have D, right? Oh, yeah. Sorry, Fritz. We try to keep the channel friendly. Daniel, sorry. We got to keep it kid friendly. But yeah, it's an antique for sure. 20. That's old for a guitar. It's 100 years old. Literally 100 years old if it was made in the 1920. But like, standard dobro tuning, like I said, is often GBD, right? 2 G triads. I'm playing open G, which really means I'm not playing this bottom string very often. But it's more of a blues kind of tuning. But like, I'm going to keep the D on the bottom. I'm going to move this up to A. Where's my tuner? Oh, here we go. I'm going to tune this to D6. So there's D, A, D, G, F sharp, so musically, Holly, slack key and bluegrass and slide, country slide or whatever, very different musically, okay? And the tuning is often one of the components that makes them different. But like I said, some of the technique is very similar, and if you get the technique down. Okay, so what I've just tuned my guitar to, my dobro to, and now I'm going to forget next time I pick this thing up, but it's D, A, D, F sharp, B, and D. Okay, that's a D6, 6 tuning. Sounds really weird, but if I play with the slide, so if I want to sound like I'm playing Hawaii, like I've done Hawaiian cues for TV and stuff like that, and it's take a dobro and tune it. Sorry, or take my lap Hawaii. See, I have a Hawaiian lap steel, and so that's another tool that was originally done for slack key, but it's been basically absconded by country players. And lap steel is more commonly used for blues and country than it is for slack key. But not to say slack key's lost. If you go to Hawaii, I'm sure. So I have see, slack key players are really good about. They do a lot of tilted slide stuff, which is really hard for me. I've never really. It's really hard to do. It's hard to get it in tune. And but if you even just playing the 6th chord, just sounds so Hawaiian, doesn't it? So yeah, I have no experience playing slack key, but I play a slack key player on TV. So that's the extent of my experience. All right, Don Ho, exactly. It's kind of got that kind of vibe to it. Yeah, open G tuning is a great tuning, but we're not doing that here with the bluegrass stuff. We're just playing in standard tuning because I'm teaching scales, and I don't want to have everybody learn new scales for bluegrass. Yeah, Holly, you think I've never been to Hawaii. I've got to go. I'm afraid to go though. It's kind of like smoking weed. I'm afraid I'll like it and want to go back day after day after I'll want to move to Hawaii. So it's why I haven't gone to Hawaii and it's why I haven't smoked weed. All right, let's see. Let's see. What did you say, Bruce? Careers Marina, which is a hybrid classical flamenco construction, but I want a classical to replace my 50-year. Oh, you've been interesting. I want a classical, 50 years old, an expensive one, and yeah, I would imagine if it's a classical flamenco hybrid, it's going to be on the bright side because flamenco guitars, and this is a Ramirez flamenco. They tend to be very very out of tune when you pick them up in a cold room. But they're shallower. Like this is shallower. Part of the reason is to get more faster projection because when you're playing flamenco, you're generally accompanying a singer and a dancer, and a dancer has metal taps and castanets, and they're making a lot of noise. So you got to kind of keep up with that. See you later, Jim Horse. Have a great weekend. Hopefully see you on Monday. There's the culprit. My G string was loose. I don't have a thumbnail right now. I broke it. I broke it trying to open a pistachio nut. And it's funny because any of the ones that are hard to open, I just set aside and give them to Beth, and she can open them no problem. But I can't. I don't want to break a nail. But there was one that was like kind of halfway between being easy to open and being hard to open, and it broke my nail off like an idiot. So I should have. Yeah, Becker, heroin, no problem, but weed, no. I'm just kidding. I had a friend who, he was a heroin addict because he got hooked on morphine in Vietnam. He was a bomb diffuser in Vietnam, underwater bomb. He was what are the underwater bombs in Vietnam? He was, he was one of those guys that went underwater and diffused the underwater mines. Yeah, this is the spruce top. Yeah, right. This is a spruce top. But the wood, the back and sides, what is it again? I forget. It's a hard wood. Yeah, YouTube gives me a thumbnail automatically. You're right. It does. When I remember to, Gary, I harden my nails. I have, where is it? You know what? I'm not going to do it right now, obviously, because I couldn't pick up a guitar for a minute. Where is my nail hardener? See, that's the first clue that I haven't done it in a while is I can't find my nail hardener. But there's the slide. Why is it in that drawer? Okay. Here's the slide that I normally a similar slide, not this one in particular, but this one's not bad. But it fits nice in the hand. But this one is easier. I feel like it's easier to get one note because you can just use the tip and kind of play it like a finger. It kind of, in some ways, is better. I'm not sure what, I have to look and see what Jerry Douglas uses, but hey, Galaxy, what's going on? You ran out of tea. Okay, well, I'm sorry, Holly. That's bad. I'll try not to do any more sippable offenses. Yeah, I touched my face. Everybody take a sip. Could you make a guitar out of palm trees? I've never heard of it. I've never heard of a guitar being made. I remember I went to, and I'm sure they don't do it now because of COVID, but once it's all said and done, if you're ever in San Diego, every day at noon, I think they do a tour of the Taylor factory. And I did it a couple times with the kids because it was just something fun. We homeschooled, and it was kind of one of those fun things, like a field trip. And they made a guitar out of because because Bob Taylor said that, was having a discussion with someone, an argument with somebody, or probably online or something, where he said it's more, the construction is more important than the quality of the wood, and people were like, no, it's all about the quality of wood. And Bob's a big conservationist. He's donated a lot of money, I think, to the Adirondack spruce and all that kind of stuff, because they're kind of running out of it. And he has a lot of wood there at the factory. They have it outside because they're trying to get it used to the elements and drying it out. And he said, yeah, I can make a guitar out of anything. And he made a guitar out of, what are those called? The forklift crates, those things. He made a guitar out of that, and it sounded great. It was like, dang, that guitar sounds really good. He also bought the wood from, I think it was the Liberty tree or something. It was like this famous tree on the East Coast in Virginia, maybe. That was, a tree where, I don't know, Thomas Jefferson sat under and wrote something or whatever. And it was struck by lightning and it was destroyed. And so he bought the wood and he turned it into a series of guitars you can buy. I think they're called Liberty guitars or something like that. And I forget the wood that they made that out of, but oh, hey, CO, I'm not sure how to say your name, but CO Trey Ram 361 sounds like a made-up handle. Pallets, thank you, Holly. I knew there was a word. He made a guitar out of pallets, pallet wood. CO, there's great teachers all over YouTube, and if you want to learn specific songs, just go to YouTube, enter the name of the song, and then put guitar lesson. And then just start out basic. The main thing is have a guitar, make sure it's in tune, get a tuner, tune it, and it makes it a lot easier to learn to play songs if it's in tune. And just mess around with it. You're 13, your brain is so agile and can pick up stuff so fast, unlike mine. But I taught a lot of 13, 14, 15-year-old kids, and they were the fastest. One of the best things about I don't teach anymore privately, but one of the best things about having students that were, junior high to high school age is they would bring me the coolest new bands that I'd never heard of. So for me, it was a great way to keep up on the latest music. So I bet you've got better, you're much more, up to date on the latest songs than I am, although I do play with some of the latest artists, but guitar made a cup of noodles. Yeah, I'd love that. I don't think Bob could do that. Yeah, a styrofoam guitar. You saw the guitar made out of colored pencils, right? They make, that's a solid body though. How about, acoustic guitars? It definitely has to have some kind of, yeah, and I started playing when I was 9, but I really didn't get into it until I was 13. Like when I was 9, it was like kind of an obligation thing. 13 is when I've told the story before, I wrote a song, and I wrote it out in music, right? So I wrote it out basically like this. I wrote a song, wrote it out in music, and my parents had just gotten divorced, so my dad had his sad bachelor pad apartment on the other side of town, and so I don't think I rode my bike. I think my mom dropped me off or he picked me up or something, and I went over to my dad's apartment, and I was sitting there playing this song, and I'm reading it, and he goes, "What's that?" And I said, "Oh, it's something I wrote." And he goes, "You wrote that?" I said, "Yeah." And I showed him the paper, and he goes, "You wrote the notes too?" I said, "Yeah. You know how to do that?" It's one of the great things about being a parent is when your kid learns something that you don't know how to do, and they can figure they know how to do it. That is like the coolest thing, in some ways. It's fun to see all of my kids excel at things that I have no clue how to do. So when I wrote, but for a boy, one of the biggest things in life is getting your father's approval. And so my dad thought that was cool. So immediately it was like, it turned on a switch in my head. And at that point forward, I wanted to be a guitar player. It was that I can name the exact moment. I don't know the day and the time, but I was 13 years old. And so yeah, Justin's a pretty cool. Oh, Justin guitar, Daniel. Okay, sorry. I thought you were talking about Justin Bieber. Marty Schwartz and Justin. Yep, those are all good because I'm actually thinking of doing a series. I'm kind of in the process of coming up with the lessons conceptually, and I have to sign off here in a minute, but also the kind of the style guide. Like, am I going to wear the same shirt, every time I do these? I'm probably going to film 10 of them at a time, but I want to do something I'm going to call super easy guitar lesson, or super easy guitar lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. So, and the idea would be just for real slow, basic kind of guitar lesson. And none of it's going to be copyrighted material. So you won't be learning any real famous songs, I don't think. I might do some, pseudo parodies of songs. But that's kind of my, plan anyway. Acoustico Games. Vito said, I don't know what that says. We try to stick with English here, sadly. I wish I spoke more Spanish. Vita's here. Wow, gosh, we got all of a sudden new people. How many? Holy cow, we're 50. And I'm getting ready to sign off. Why does this happen? Right when I'm about to sign off, we get all these people showing up. You guys, it's 9 o'clock California time. So, sad bachelor pad. Yeah, exactly. Sad dad bachelor pad. There's our name. Okay, but this one's called Pent Up. I've already got a name for this one, but I'm going to write down Sad Dad Bachelor Pad. Yeah, that's. I think you're onto something there, Holly. It's always hard to come up with names for instrumental tunes. It's always one of the toughest things because I write a lot of instrumental music. In fact, I'm in the middle of writing like these really kind of like I call them cheesy hip hop kind of. They're for like reality shows that are kind of sitcom-y, and it's just, what is it? There's no guitar in any of this. But like it's for, a show if something funny is happening. It's just for dramatic type things. But that's kind of what I'm working on this week as far as the TV stuff goes. For me, it's a real challenge because it's like, what is a funny melody? What's a funny chord progression? Is there such a thing as a chord progression that's funny or a funny chord? Like I know I can do spy chords, like I could do, suspenseful. Suspenseful's easy. Funny is hard. I could do suspense all day long, and I have done a lot of that. But yeah, those are Apple. Those are that's a drummer on Garage on Logic. So if you have an Apple product, wait, my channel is in English. Thanks, Becker. Let's see. The other thing, so I'm on Monday. Thank you, Bruce. Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 a.m. Los Angeles time, which is 12 in New York, and I think 5 in London, 5 p.m. in London. Sadly, in Australia, it's like most of those people have to watch later. Is Sad Dad playing in Dad Gad? Yeah, I was wondering about that. I could play in Dad Dad too. I don't want to do open tunings for any of these songs though, because that would mean relearn. I mean maybe if we did a Dad Gad Bluegrass song, it would have to be in the key of D. If we did that, then I guess we could call it Sad Dad Bachelor Pad and Dad Gad. So, very good. Well played, Sam. So. Dad Gad. So I did a recent video intro to Dad Gad. Check it out. Where is it? Channel. Uploads. Recent video. One of my more recent videos. Intro to Dad Gad. So here's that. So check this one out. Hopefully this one will, get you started on Dad Gad. Okay. And then... you could have Bad Dad tuning, yeah. You could totally have Bad Dad tuning. That would be a weird tuning, though, because you would have that beat. Oh, thank you, Hugh. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Um, the your 12 string is tuned to DAG. You know, sometimes I really do love my 12 string tuned to drop D, which is what Gary's doing this week at church. I do that for like Western kind of vibes. I'm trying to think if I have an example of that. Where would that be? I don't know. The problem with this is probably my friend whose library I sent it to. He probably registered it. So if I play it on YouTube, they'll probably go, "That's not yours," you know. And I'm like, "Well, actually, it is mine." But what? Oh, gosh. I just want to listen to my songs. Oh, you're kidding. Come on. I did not forget my iTunes account. All right, so see, I hate that iTunes makes you log in to listen to your own music that you have. This is why I don't typically listen. Let's see. Okay, none of this. Oh wow. Okay, I gotta cut. I didn't know I saved that. All right, let's see if I can find it. I don't think it's here. Sorry, I was just trying to find something with drop some music that I have and drop. I got a lot of stuff here though, but this is not what I'm looking for. Gosh, I got a lot of music I never released. It's funny. Oh yeah, I did a whole like set of tunes that were high strung. Let's go. That's cool. It's all high-strung acoustic. It's kind of fun. All right, listen. I gotta go. I've gotta. Like I said, I gotta head out to L.A. and yeah, copyrights make it hard to teach. Although at least on YouTube for a mass audience, but you can totally. You don't have that issue on Becker. You don't have that issue on Zoom, do you? Like if you're teaching someone and you're playing something, because I know I've done that with a student using FaceTime, and we've played music back and forth, and we haven't had any issues. Sad Dad playing Dadgad in his bachelor pad will need to be blues with a lot of slides. Yeah, it'll have to be once we learn the blues. Sad Dad bachelor pad is going to have to be when we do the minor scales over the pentaton. So when we play, like if I just played the minor scales over, like G minor over our jam, it's it's going to be definitely in the more. Yeah, so when I write a song using the minor blues scale over that jam, when I do that, then that's the one we'll call Sad Dad Bachelor Pad. Okay, all right. But Pepper, hey Pepper, you're done with finals and you show up and I'm logging off right now, straight up 11 o'clock. So God bless you all. See you on Monday. Take care. We got up to 58. That's crazy. Right before I sign off, it just blows up. I don't know why. I get all these new faces here. Hopefully they're subscribers if they like the way I teach. Obviously, I haven't been teaching now for the last hour. So, but anyway, we'll talk soon. See you on Monday.